welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome back to another TBR bingo. It is February, the month of love, and also Black History Month. I'm very excited to be doing a TBR for this month. I have a lot of lofty plans and goals, so hopefully the TBR will lend to some of those things, but I'm very, very excited to share all of this with you today. I have a few housekeeping things to talk about before we actually get into the playing of the bingo board, so if you are not interested in hearing those things, please feel free to use the chapters in the timeline to skip ahead or in the description box below. Feel free to do so. But I am going to be talking over a few things that pertain to the bingo board and things that are going to change moving forward. I'm also going to talk about how I did in the month of January and if I'm going to be taking any punishments, and then we will get into the game. So first and foremost, just a heads up, things will be changing in the month of March. I decided not to change it in February just because I wanted to give us the chance to hit a bingo. And because the changes that I'm making are a very big revamp to the board, the rules, and how things are going to work, I figured it'd be better if I did it in one singular video where I'm having a whole new board and I get to explain all the rules rather than trying to explain it in the middle of a game. So, cross our fingers, hope that we get a bingo this time around so that in March I can change things up. Even if I don't get a bingo, I'm going to be changing it up regardless. I just was hoping that with this last TBR, it would give us more of a chance to hit a bingo. This time around, if we do get a bingo, there will be a giveaway, so stay tuned and watch to see if that's going to happen. And then the only other thing is if we do get a bingo, I'm not going to be switching the board mid-game. I'm just going to play through until the end of my spins, and then next month I will revamp the board, like I said. So, yeah, let's go ahead and talk over how I did in January, if I'm taking any punishments or anything like that, and then we will go ahead and get into the bingo pools. Also, if this is the first time you were here watching a TBR bingo, thank you so much for stopping by. Basically, how it works is I spin a ball cage. Every ball correlates to a number. Each number correlates to a prompt, and I use that prompt to pick a book off of my TBR. It's pretty self-explanatory once you get into it, and each ball that I pull, if it's on the board, then I mark it off with the hopes of getting a bingo. Each time we get a bingo, either it's a reward for me or it's a reward for you, and this time around it would be a reward for you guys if I get a bingo this time around. So without the jibber jabber, let's go ahead and talk about January's pulls and see how we did. Up first, we had an Isaac pick, and he picked orange, and I did read this. Then we had flip a coin with your favorite trope, and I picked Zodiac Academy, and I did read this. Then for an intimidating TBR jar pick, I picked A Winter's Promise, and I DNF'd this, but technically I did read it. Then for an even number of pages, I picked Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, and I did read this. For BookTube Rec, I had The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, and I did read this. For a subscription box book, I had The Devil Makes Three by Tori Bovolino, and I did read this. For fantasy, I picked The Diviners by Libba Bray, and I did read this. For random prompt generator, I had Big Book, and for that I picked Priory of the Orange Tree. I know you were all waiting to see whether or not I read this, and the answer is yes, I did. I did read this. Then for a standalone, I picked November 9, and I did read this. Then for a random letter generator, I picked You Had Me at Ola by Alexis Daria, and I did read this. Up next, I had Read a Sequel, and I picked Kate by Tate James, and I did read this. Then I had a short read, and I picked The Dare by Harley LaRoe, and I did read this. For random number generator, I had Lover Unbound by J.R. Ward, and I did read this. And finally, for smut, I had Ice Planet Barbarians, and I did read this. I really could have just told you that I read all of the books on my TBR, but I wanted to go through and share with you guys that I freaking did that. I read every single book on my January TBR, and it was one of the biggest TBRs I've ever had to date. I'm so proud of myself. This book, I will forever brag that I finished Priory of the Orange Tree. I'm just saying. Okay, before we get into the actual spins, as you guys know, February is Black History Month. I'm very excited to be celebrating this wonderful month where we get to celebrate Black pride and just Black stories and the Black experience, and I'm just so pumped about it. If you guys aren't already supporting Black authors on an everyday basis, this is the month to do it. Please go out, buy books by Black authors, support your Black creators. It's just a great time to show extra love and support. But with that being said, I'm going to try my very best to make sure that all of the books that I pick for each prompt are written by Black authors. And then I have a few things that are going to slip through the cracks here and there because there are some books that I need to get to this month that aren't written by Black authors, but it's going to be my main focus. So if I have to tweak some prompts here and there, I'm going to do that. But the first thing I'm going to be adding in to my every month pulls is every month I'm going to pull a random slip out of my little TBR jar, if you will. And that's going to be the book, one of the books that I read this month. This month I have only books by Black authors in here, whereas next month I will have everything in here, but I figured I would just make it a little bit easier on myself. So I'm going to pick one out, and that's one of the books I'm going to be reading this month. So let's take a look and see what I got. Okay, so I actually picked Rise to the Sun by Leah Johnson, so that will be one of the books that's going on my TBR, not including my spins. Okay, now let's finally roll the dice and get into spin number 1. All right, let's do our dice roll for the month and hope we get something good. Let's hope it's better than last month even. Okay, we have 6 and 4, which is 10. So I'm going to stick with 10. That's a pretty swell number, I think. Hopefully I can fit everything in here that I need to fit in here. Let's hope. All right, 10 spins is not too bad. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road and do spin number 1. Spin number 1 is I-27. I-27 is indeed on the board, and for I-27, we have a new author. Okay, our very first spin, we got I-27, and that is a new to me author. So for that, I picked Blackbirds in the Sky by Brandy Colbert. I have never read from this author before. I saw this book at Target, and I really wanted to pick it up. This one follows the Tulsa Race Massacre that happened in 1921. I believe it's nonfiction, where Brandy Colbert kind of talks about the atrocities of the Tulsa Race Massacre, but she also kind of talks about the stepping stones that kind of got us to that place. Just sounds really good. I'm hoping that I can get around to this one and really enjoy it. I would like to read some more nonfiction this month, especially with it being Black History Month, so I'm glad that I was able to get this one on my TBR. Okay, spin number 2. G47. Okay, 47 is a nonfiction. Spin number 2, we actually got 47, which was another nonfiction, which is great. And for that, I picked Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. This is a book written by a Black man to his son, and he's talking basically to his son about the world that we live in and the experiences that he's had as a Black man. I've heard really, really good things about this one. I've been meaning to pick this up for ages now, and I'm excited to get around to it. This is actually the book that I picked for my TBR knockout as well, so it fits perfectly. Spin number 3. Woo! Okay, spin number 3 is B12. B12 is an Instagram pic. Okay, spin number 3, we got 12, and for that is Instagram pic. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through Instagram, find the first book that I own, and that's the book I'm going to be reading. I'm hoping, maybe just maybe, that a book that will come up is actually written by a Black author, but since I have no control over this one, it's just going to have to be what it is. So I'm gonna just go ahead and scroll through Instagram and see what I find. Pictures of dogs, wonderful. I don't own that. Oh, okay. I found one. I'm in this little stack by Green Lakes Readers _27. The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina is on there. So I have been meaning to get around to this one. Not necessarily one that I wanted to read this month, but I am glad that I get to read it. Okay, like I said, we have The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina. For this one, I have heard really good things about this one. I believe this has to do with a matriarch of Orquídea Divina, and she is quite old, and it's coming time for her to decide who is going to get what out of the family and the will that needs to be separated between them. So she invites everyone to her estate to speak about that, but then something weird happens and she turns into a tree. That's really all I know. I've heard good things about this one. Reagan from Peruse Project really enjoyed this one. I've heard lots of buzz, so hopefully I really enjoy it. Spin number 4. I-17. I-17 is highest rated on my TBR. Spin number 4, we got 17, and for that we got highest rated on my TBR. I'm going about this one a little bit differently just because I am trying to read books strictly by Black authors. I put together an entire shelf on GoodReads for Black History Month. I will leave it in the description box below if you guys are looking for more recommendations to read during this month. It's a very long list. I think I have like 87 books on there. So I'm going to go through and sort my highest rated on there and pick the first book that I see. Okay, I'm going to go on to GoodReads and let's see. I don't think it has my shelf on there yet. Where's my shelf? Oh, there it is. Black History Month. There's 81 books on here. We are going to sort these by average rating. The highest average rated book is Bitter by Akwaeke Emezi, which is the prequel to Pet by Akwaeke Emezi that I really, really loved in 2020. It ended up on my favorites of the year list. I'm actually really excited because this book comes out this month on the 15th of the month, and I had really, really wanted to read it. I have already pre-ordered it, so I will be reading it as soon as it comes out, which is very, very exciting. Way to go, GoodReads. That's like, honestly, probably the best thing that I could have got off of that list because it was one of the books that I absolutely had to read this month. So if you haven't read Pet, it is a very short little novella fantasy that follows a girl named Jam who stumbles upon a painting that her mother did, and through that painting she brings out a monster, and this monster is convinced that there is a monster in this world. However, everyone in this world knows that monsters don't exist anymore. They've been eradicated. But Pet is convinced that there's a monster and they need to go track it down. And this is a huge metaphor about life and the world that we live in and the people that we surround ourselves with and what human beings are capable of. It's a fantastic short little book, and I'm so excited for the prequel, which follows Jam's mom, and I'm just so pumped for it. Spin number 5. G51. G51 is Buddy Read. Okay, up next we got 51, and that is Buddy Read. Honestly, this TBR could not have gone any better because I'm buddy reading a book with my friend Mike, written by a Black author about Black main characters, and that is Wings of Ebony by JL. This is a book that I'm very excited to get to. I don't remember the full synopsis of this, but I think it's like an urban fantasy where the main character kind of gets pulled into this entirely new world with gods and magic, but while she's there learning about this new world, she realizes that the world that she left, the human world, is in danger, including all of her family. And so she's trying to do everything that she can to save both the fantasy world and the human world. So I'm very excited to get around to this one. I've heard really, really good things. I do have the audiobook for this, so even better. So pumped for this. Spin number 6 is I-21. I-21 is GoodReads recommendation. All right, our next spin, we got 21, which was GoodReads recommendation. Again, I'm going to do this exactly like I did it on, what's it called? On Instagram. I'm going to scroll through my GoodReads homepage, and the first book that I see that I own is the one that I'm going to read. Again, I hope that it's written by a Black author, but we shall see. Shut up. Oh my god, this could not have worked out any better. We have Instructions for Dancing by Nick Leyoun. I still have not read this, and it's written by a Black author. Oh my gosh, this is the best. And this is also a short book, so it worked out even better. Oh my gosh, I'm so pumped about this. So, I don't remember what this is about. I know it has to do with dancing. I believe it is a YA romance as well. So you have Evie Thomas doesn't believe in love anymore, especially after the strangest thing occurred one otherwise ordinary afternoon. She witnesses a couple kissing and is overcome with the vision of how their romance began and how it will end. After all, even the greatest love stories end with broken hearts eventually. As Evie tries to understand why this is happening, she finds herself in La Brea Dance Studio learning to waltz, foxtrot, and tango with a boy named X. X is all Evie is not. Adventurous, passionate, daring. His philosophy is to say yes to everything, including entering the ballroom competition with the girl he's only just met. Falling for X is definitely not what Evie had in mind. If her vision of heartbreak had taught her anything, it's that no one escapes love unscathed. But as she and X dance around and towards each other, Evie is forced to question all that she thought she knew about life and love, and in the end, is love worth the risk? This sounds like it's going to be so freaking good. I've been meaning to read this for forever, so I'm so glad this one came up. Spin number 7. G52. G52 is an adult romance. Okay, our next spin, we got 52, which is adult romance. It's actually worked out perfectly because I have The Wedding Date here by Jasmine Gilroy. I am doing a secret TBR, and so there are a few books that I was hoping to get onto this TBR, this being one of them. Of course, it's also written by a Black author, so it works out perfectly as well. I am very, very excited to get around to this one. I have been pushing this off for so long. Even though I've heard really good things about this book and the series and Jasmine Gilroy as an author, I know that a lot of people love her, but I've also heard some mixed reviews as well. I believe this one is fake dating that has to do with a wedding, and everything that I have read that has been like that specific trope, a wedding and fake dating, I have really enjoyed, so I don't think this is going to be a miss, but we'll cross our fingers and hope that it is a good one. Spin number 8. B8. B8 is a perfect pick, and that is reread your favorite book. Okay, our next spin, we got 8, and that is reread your favorite book. Y'all, as you guys well know, my favorite book of all time is House of Earth and Blood, and with the sequel coming out on the 15th of the month, there is no way that I could pass up doing a reread as well as reading the next book in the series, so of course I'm going to be rereading House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. I'm so pumped for this, like, oh my god, I'm dying. I've been long awaiting the sequel of this, and there's no way I'm not going to drop everything just to read it. So very excited about this one. You guys already know what this is about. I'm not going to explain it. It is my favorite book of all time. I've already reread it once, so I don't think that's going to change, but I'm very excited for it. Spin number 9. I cannot believe we still don't have a bingo. N39. N39 is a grandma pick. Up next, we have 39, which is Grandma Pick. I called her a little bit earlier and asked if she would pick a book for me, and she was very much willing to do so. And she picked Boyfriend Project by Farrah Roshan. I don't know if my grandma has like a sixth sense or something, but this one is also in my secret TBR, so it worked out perfectly. Don't worry, you're not spoiled for the secret TBR. There's still a few more books that are missing, so feel free to stay tuned for that middle of this month. But I am very excited to get around to this one. I've had this one since I've had Book of the Month, which has been a long time now that I have canceled my subscription with them, so I would really love to get around to this one. I don't really remember what this is about. I know it has to do with a dating site. I believe she gets cheated on by her boyfriend, and then her and her friends that were, or maybe it was the women that he cheated on with, I don't know. They all come together and decide that they are going to take a certain length of time to focus on themselves. But during that time, and while she's at work, she meets a man that may kind of like threaten those plans. I've heard good things about this author as well as this book, so hopefully I really enjoy it. And our very last spin number 10. B5. So this is a kind of bittersweet type of deal here because we did get 5, which is a bingo. Congratulations to us, but it is also an extra spin, so I'll be doing one more spin after this one. And then B5 is a random number generator. I love that I don't have any choice in this TBR this month. Just when we thought this game was over, no, bingo has spoken. But on the bright side, we did get 5, which is a bingo. I'm very excited for you guys because that means another giveaway. I just did one recently, and you guys get to have another chance to win a book of your choosing. Well, actually of my choosing off of your wish list. So if you want to hear more about the giveaway, stay tuned for that information. I will talk about that at the very, very end. But this is an extra ball as well as a random number generator. So I'm going to generate a number, and then I'm going to pick that number off of my Black History Month TBR thing on GoodReads, just so I can make sure that I get a Black author. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and randomly generate a number. We're going to do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 27. I think this is going to be a book that I don't own, but I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. Shut up. 27 was bitter, so I already have that on my TBR, so I'm going to go pick another random number. 14. Definitely one that I don't own. So we're going to be reading The Passing Playbook by Isaac Fitzgerald. Don't know what this is about. I heard it was good, so I gave it a go. I know that it's LGBTQI+. It's YA romance. That is really all that I know. Oh, it's trans representation. We'd love to see it. We'd love to see it. And as I explained in the beginning, because I got a bingo and things are changing next month, I'm not going to change the board. I'm just going to do my very last spin. All right. Oh my god. N45, which means we have another extra spin. N45 also happened to be on the board, so I'll take it. An extra ball with a Kaylani pick. Could I have asked for anything better? Okay, so we had to do, of course, another bonus spin, and we got 45, which means that we're doing another one. We just kept thinking it was over, and the bingo said, no, keep going. We want you to read more books. And for this one, thank God, it was a Kaylani pick, which means I get to pick whatever I want. And as I mentioned before, House of Sky and Breath is coming out, so you know I'm putting it on this TBR. So of course I will be reading House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas, the second book in the Crescent City series. I did pre-order 3 copies of this, so I should be getting one on day of release. So I will definitely be reading that as soon as it comes out. I'm not even gonna say it this time. Spin number 12, I think. N41. Okay, our very last prompt using this version of the board, and the prompt is middle grade. All right, we did it. We made it to the end. Our very, very last spin was 41, and for that was a middle grade. And for middle grade, I'm going to be reading Blended by Sharon M. Draper. I've had this book on my TBR for such a long time, at least a year and a half, so I'm glad to finally be getting around to it. This is a middle grade about 11-year-old girl named Isabella who has a white mom and a black dad, and she's kind of struggling to fit in and kind of knowing where she stands. She doesn't feel black enough for the people in the black community, and she doesn't feel white enough for her white friends, and so she's really struggling with that. I've heard this one is really good, very, very cute, and it's a short little middle grade, so hopefully I will really, really enjoy it. Okay, so this is my TBR for the month of February, not including Bitter by Kweke Emezi. We also have House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas, and then the LGBTQI+ book by Isaac Fitzgerald that I cannot remember the name of. But I'm very excited to get around to all of these. This looks like it's going to be a very, very fun stack. Hopefully I can get around to all of them. With my 2 big chunky books, it's definitely going to be a struggle. That being said, there's a few books in here that I was not able to fit onto my TBR, so let's talk about it. So these are the books that I was not able to fit onto my TBR that I do need to read this month. The first one being The Stars and the Blackness Between Them. This is my book for the Buzzwordathon. This month is pronouns, and this one has them in it, so it works. My other book for the TBR knockout prompt is to read a collection of short stories, and for that I'm going to be reading Black Enough. This is edited by Evie Zaboy and has a whole bunch of different authors on here, so I'm really excited to get around to this. Of course, I talked about it last month, but I figured I would push it off till this month because it is written by a Black author, but I still need to read The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This is my punishment book from the first sentence challenge that I did back in December. We are still continuing to do a buddy read of all of the Cassandra Clare books. This is not the book that I need to read. I need to read Ghost of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare, but this is the one that I had and I wanted to remember that I actually needed to read it, so there's that. And then of course we are reading all of the Throne of Glass books this year. My next one that I need to read is Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas, so this is another book that I will be adding on to my TBR. All that being said, that is my entire TBR for the month of February. It's a doozy. It's the shortest month of the year, yet I'm trying to do everything and all of it all at the same time. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fine. We're going to thrive. But if you are still here and you are interested in winning the giveaway, here is how you win. It's going to be a very, very simple giveaway. All you have to do is subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you turn on your settings so I know that you're a subscriber. I say this every giveaway and there's still people that don't do it. But if I can't see that you subscribe to the channel, I won't pick you as a winner. Secondly, like this video. I can't track that, but if you would do that for me, that would be much obliged. And then all you have to do is comment down below your favorite book written by an author of color. I would love to hear some recommendations of books that you've loved written by Black authors. This is a great time to celebrate your Black authors, Black creators, Black actresses, Black actors. Like, this is the time, you guys. So if you aren't already making that a priority this month, I greatly urge you to do so. Go support Black independent bookstores. Like, there are so many ways to support your Black community this month, and I please urge you to do so. So let me know down in the comments below your favorite book written by a Black author. I will contact you a week from now to let you know if you've won in the comments on YouTube, and then from there we can facilitate a means of communication. So like I said, it's very simple. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment down below your favorite book written by a Black author, and that is how you win. Like I said, it'll be a week from today. I don't know what day I'm posting this video, so I will leave the dates on the screen as well as down in the description box below if you have any questions about how the giveaway is being run. This is going to be an international giveaway. I will do both Amazon as well as Book Depository, depending on where you live. There will be one giveaway winner. I think that's all the information you need. This is a very long video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you've read any of the books that I talked about today, as well as what you plan on reading for the month of February. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a book stack emoji if you don't want to comment anything else. But that is the end. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Baby, turn it down.